The Bering Sea, a volatile, freezing expanse of water separating Alaska from Siberia. It is one of the most hostile environments on Earth, a place where the ocean freezes, the waves can swallow ships whole, and the wind cuts like a knife. Yet beneath this churning gray surface lives a creature of immense value. Paralithodes kamchaticus, the red king crab, an armored giant of the deep, prized for its sweet, colossal legs. It is the crown jewel of the seafood world, a delicacy that commands a premium price on menus from Las Vegas steakhouses to New York City fine dining. But the journey from the ocean floor to the dinner plate is a logistical miracle. It is a race against time, biology, and the elements. It requires a fleet of iron-willed fishermen, a supply chain that stretches across the globe, and a processing facility that combines brute force with surgical precision. How does a dangerous, spiny, bottom-dwelling scavenger transform into a frozen, shelf-stable luxury product? How do processors preserve the delicate texture of the meat while handling millions of pounds of shell? From the deadliest catch to the coldest freezer, this is the mega process of the king crab. Our story begins at the edge of the world, Dutch Harbor, Unalaska. This is the busiest fishing port in the United States. Here, the crab fleet prepares for the season opener. These vessels, ranging from 80 to over 150 feet in length, are not just boats. They are floating industrial platforms designed to withstand hurricane-force winds and 40-foot swells. The preparation is a logistical war. A single trip can last weeks. The boats are loaded with thousands of gallons of diesel, tons of hydraulic fluid, and the most critical tool of the trade, the pot. The king crab pot is a 700-pound steel cage wrapped in nylon mesh. It measures 7 feet by 7 feet. It is a trap designed on a simple principle: hunger. The bait is a pungent cocktail of ground herring, cod, and sardine. The scent trail it creates can travel for miles in the current, drawing the crabs out of the deep trenches. Finding the crab is a mix of science and intuition. Captains analyze bathymetric maps, looking for the continental shelf drop-offs where king crabs migrate. These crustaceans typically live at depths between 200 and 600 feet, moving in massive herds across the mud and sand bottom. When the spot is chosen, the string is set. Pots are launched off the stern rail one after another, attached to a massive main line or dropped individually with buoys. Timing is everything. The crew works in a rhythm of dangerous precision. One slip on the icy deck could mean being dragged to the bottom by a sinking pot. Down in the darkness, the scent of the bait triggers a feeding frenzy. The crabs climb up the mesh ramp and fall into the center of the pot. Once inside, the design makes escape nearly impossible. The trap soaks for 24 to 48 hours. The haul, this is the moment of truth. A hydraulic crane hoists the pot onto the specialized sorting table. The bottom of the trap is opened, and an avalanche of king crabs spills out. But this is a regulated harvest. Sustainability is the law of the Bering Sea. The crew must sort the catch immediately. Only males of a certain size can be kept. Females and juvenile males are returned to the ocean to ensure the future of the stock. The legal males are enormous, some spanning 5 feet from leg tip to leg tip. It is important to note, live king crabs are not the bright red color consumers see in the store. In nature, they are a deep burgundy, purple, or brownish red. The iconic fire engine red color is a chemical reaction that only happens during the cooking process. Unlike fish that are frozen immediately, king crabs must be kept alive until they reach the processing plant. A dead crab releases toxins and enzymes that degrade the meat instantly, turning it into a mushy, inedible paste. The hold of the ship acts as a massive aquarium. Seawater is constantly pumped in from the ocean, circulating fresh oxygen through the tanks. The water temperature and salinity must match the ocean outside perfectly. If the tanks get too warm, the crabs die. If the water stagnates, they suffocate. It is a high-stakes life support system for $1 million worth of cargo. With the tanks full, the vessel races back to the processing facility. These plants are often located in remote outposts like Dutch Harbor or Akatan. Or sometimes, the catch is offloaded to a floating processor, a massive ship that stays at sea. The transfer must be gentle. A brailer bag lifts the crabs from the boat to the dock. A scale weighs the catch instantly. This weight determines the crew's paycheck. From this moment on, the clock is ticking. The crabs have left the ocean and the industrial process begins. We enter the factory. Here, the wild chaos of the ocean is replaced by the rhythmic efficiency of THE assembly line. The first step is the butchering. To ensure the highest quality meat, the crab is processed while it is still alive or seconds after dispatch. This is crucial. The butchering process involves removing the carapace, the top shell, and the internal organs known as the viscera. The central body is split in half, leaving 2 clusters. Each cluster consists of legs and a claw attached to a shoulder. The clusters pass through high-speed nylon brushes that scrub away the gills and any organic debris. The result is a clean section of raw crab, ready for the heat. Now the transformation. The raw clusters enter the continuous cooker. This is a massive steam or boiling water tunnel that stretches for dozens of feet. Inside, the temperature is maintained at a precise 210 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. As the heat penetrates the shell, a chemical reaction occurs. The protein crustacyanin, which binds to the red pigment astaxanthin, breaks down. The blue-black tones disappear, revealing the brilliant red color underneath. The cooking time is calculated down to the second based on the size of the crab. If cooked too long, the meat becomes rubbery and tough. If cooked too short, the meat sticks to the shell, making it impossible to extract. The goal is a perfect shuckability, where the meat pulls away cleanly from the calcified armor. Just as important as the cook is the stop. The hot crabs are plunged into a chilled water bath. This thermal shock stops the cooking process instantly, preventing the residual heat from drying out the delicate white meat. In many facilities, this cooling stage also begins the freezing process. The clusters enter a brine freezer. This is a tank filled with a concentrated salt solution that can be chilled far below the freezing point of pure water, often down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, without turning into solid ice. Immersion in this supercooled liquid freezes the outer layer of the meat instantly. This rapid freeze is essential. Slow freezing creates large ice crystals that puncture the cell walls of the meat, causing it to lose moisture and flavor when thawed. Rapid brine freezing locks in the juices. The clusters are now inspected for quality. Broken legs, missing claws, or shells with heavy barnacle growth are sorted out. These are often sold as seconds or broken down for meat extraction. The prime clusters are graded by size. In the industry, this is determined by the count. How many legs make up 10 pounds? A 9 to 12 count means large legs. A 6 to 9 count is massive, and the rare 4 to 7 count represents the giants of the deep. Before packaging, the crab legs receive a glaze. They pass through a curtain of cold, fresh water. Because the crab is already deeply frozen, this water freezes instantly upon contact. This creates a micro-thin layer of ice that encases the entire cluster. This is not to add weight, it is armor. The glaze protects the meat from freezer burn, dehydration caused by the dry air of cold storage. It ensures the crab tastes as fresh in 6 months as it does today. For retail markets, the clusters might be cut into individual legs using industrial bandsaws. For wholesale, the full clusters are packed into wax-lined cardboard boxes. Packing is a Tetris-like puzzle. The spiny legs must be arranged so they don't puncture the box or break each other during transit. This is done by hand. The boxes are weighed, usually 20 or 40 pounds per case, strapped and date-coded. The code traces the product back to the specific boat, the date of catch, and the time of processing. The finished pallets are rushed to the cold storage holding freezer, kept at a staggering minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. From the remote Aleutian Islands, these containers embark on a global journey. They travel by barge to Seattle, and then by truck or train to distribution centers across America, Europe, and Asia. It is a supply chain defined by extremes. Extreme weather, extreme danger, and extreme temperatures. The king crab is more than just a meal. It is the result of a partnership between the brave men and women who risk their lives on the Bering Sea and the precision engineering of the processing plant. When you crack open that shell and taste the sweet, firm meat, you are tasting the cold purity of the deep ocean, preserved perfectly by the marvels of modern food science. Inside the seafood plant, the king of the ocean is prepared for its royal arrival at your table.